Okay. Hey everybody, we are going to be reading about the highlight features and game design and talents. So obviously we're going to skip most of the stuff I don't care about. Like, I'm not going to remember any of this. Da 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 da. Unique mechanics. Before we could get into talents and overhaul gameplay, we asked to break down the new unique mechanics coming with the Skitarii. These are features that are exclusive to this class and affect core aspects of how the class plays, whether it can be through its abilities, talents, or weapons. Okay, so we got the combat ability. I might say this wrong because it is 2 in the morning. Compactance. So that's capacitance. Capacitance. I feel like it's capacitance. Charge. With most class abilities, function on a strict cooldown when you either have an ability, you're waiting for the refresh. The skill depends on character-based charges or card attempts. I'm just gonna call it Capac for short. Having a single Capac charge enables you to use your combat ability from the get-go, but accumulating multiple charges empowers your ability. This means that the combat ability of Skitarii has access to devastating potential even with little talent investment for required particular accumulating compact charges of access, with the exception of Car Claw strike ability. More on that later. Activating your combat ability could consume all available compact charges to empower it. Okay. So will generate the most chaos through your actions, both through killing basic and elite enemies as a baseline, as also though other talents that will allow you to generate more charges. Okay. So we got the servo skull. And we have 3 different servo skulls. So we have flamethrower, it looks like, which is probably going to fly over enemies and shoot flames on them. Probably a healing one. Maybe this is going to be on a charge. And I think this is the gun one we saw in the trailer, which might distract enemies. So that would be interesting. The servo skull is a default blitz available with Skitarii, a floating companion that will provide aids in combat by shooting at your enemies, or even compare data interrogation minigames for you and your command, similar to the Arbites Cyber Mistress Mastiff. God, you can direct your servo skull towards a particular enemy or data interrogator by double pinging it, and it will comply. Oh, so it does the minigame for you, which is very nice because there are some times where if you're playing with randoms and you just like, hey, protect me, you're gonna get your ass fucking slapped by the heretics. It is super nice in these events where you can just send your servo skull to complete the data interrogator and keep going for what you're doing. Currently, it takes more than what it would take a good player to do it manually, so it's a trade-off. It's slower, but you can continue fighting. I mean, the thing is about that is, even if you have a good player do it, because sometimes the hitbox for it is really weird. Sometimes you could do it like right as you touch it, and then sometimes it has to fully go through. So I don't know, maybe it's just a lag thing. And there are some mini games that just fucking suck. Like the newer ones they added just kind of suck. I don't know who was like, man, we need to have more mini games in here. But like, no, we really did not need more mini games. I kind of like the mini games because they were fairly simple and easy. You didn't take like a genius to figure them out or have very good observation skills. You just went boop, 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 and you were done. And that was simple. That's how the mini game should be, especially in a very stressful environment. I shouldn't be having to go look around for like the where these letters are on the over here. Like, no. However, we just stop at 1. By investing more talent points into the Blitz, you can unlock additional more specialized servo skulls to accompany you. You could be able to add a servo skull with an interrogated flamethrower to focus on more firepower, cleaning off heretics. I want the Medicaid functionality to better support your team. I wonder if this is just gonna give you like maybe take away your corruption. I could kind of see that, or give you like one. I feel like this is gonna give you 1 hit of stim, and it's like, let's say you have like God, it's just so long since I played Darktide. Let's say that you have one. I forget what it's called, but it's a curio that basically gives you like. It doesn't give you more health. What it does is it breaks your health up into pieces. I forget what it's called, but if you know what I'm talking about, just comment below. And maybe it's going to give you 1 bar of health or 1 bar of corruption taken away, which I guess could be very good, because if your teammate went down, they're not just going to die. But I really hope, because I'm seeing at the bottom here, I'm seeing there's a stim. And on higher difficulties, go fuck yourself. You're not going to find a stim. And you're not going to want to stop and try to go look around the map to find a stim. You're going to try to want to get out of there as fast as you can. So I really hope this doesn't go off of... It's saying these 2 are going to be in the skull. So what I'm assuming is either this is going to fully heal you up to full health and then go on the recharge, or this is going to give you like a stim of health or get rid of your corruption. So you can unlock additional more blah 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 da. To better support your team, you can even take both if you're willing to spend the talent. So it sounds more like if you want to have like a level 1 skull, you can have multiple skulls, but you have to spend points to get them. So if you want to try to do a full build, you can't do it with all 3 of these and try to get a full build all the way down. You have to pick one or the other, which does make me more interested, because I feel like no one's gonna really pick the Medicaid one, to be honest. No, I feel like it's gonna be the either pistol or the flamethrower. I mean, maybe they're gonna have both, like they're gonna have flamethrower and pistol, but I feel like they're not gonna do a ton of damage. Okay, we got some drip. So the primary skull, servo skull is controlled by your pings. The flamethrower and Medicaid servo skulls are commanded with your blitz input, depending on whether you're targeting enemy or an ally. Okay, let me read that again. So the primary servo skull is controlled with your pings. The flamethrower and Medicaid servo skulls are commanded with your blitz input, depending on whether you're targeting enemy or ally. So, So my primary skull is controlled by my pings, but the flamethrower and Medicaid are commanded with your blitz input, depending on whether you're target ally or... So, for example, are they gonna have cooldowns, or is it just gonna be like, they come out and then blah? I really hope they're not like... I hope they have like cooldowns. I really hope they're not like you gotta pick up a grenade or something to use them, or like they run out of ammo type shit. is an ally knocked down or netted or hogtied, then you could just revive them using a Medicaid skull. Okay. I'm not surprised because they basically took that from Vermintide 2, but now it's like, oh, I think if you put a bubble on somebody, they don't take any damage, but it will knock like the creature off of them, or it'll knock like a pack rat off of them. So that's not like entirely new. But that is cool though. We finally get a long range picking up people because that was honestly really annoying. Of course, if you only have one of 3 blitzes available to the Skitarii, the Servo Skull, of course, since it is only one of the 3 blitzes available to the Skitarii, the Servo Skull is not as key to the I-class identity, but it is nonetheless an iconic piece of gear that we can really help sell the player's fantasy of playing a member of the Adaptus mechanic. Because, I mean, can't really anyone have a Servo Skull? I don't think they're just aligned to the Adaptus Mechanicus. I think, like, I mean, I know they, like, control them and stuff, but isn't, like, can anyone in the thing just have a Servo Skull? As your primary Servo Skull is customizable, there are a variety of skins to change the appearance and initial Servo Skull to suit your presence, available by attaining the relevant cosmetics. Also, other thing is I was kind of watching Mr. E's video and I realized this, but, like, the other thing is just, like, as much as I love Mr. E, he goes on for a very long time. Like, I get he's like explaining and talking about stuff, but like to me some of his videos are way too long. Like way too long. Like 20 minutes, 40 minutes too long. But this isn't like a diss or anything to Mr. E. I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna watch this, but you know, it's basically like that motherfucker takes way too long to explain shit. Like some of the videos I watch, I wouldn't even watch the video because I'll look at it and be like, this is like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and watch the tier list for 2 hours. Like, get on with it, dude. I mean, we got some, this is like the pre-order skin. So, I kind of, okay, I'm going to stop right now because I'm going to say something that I have a problem with. I hate that they resell pre-order skins, or they're not really pre-order skins. They're like deluxe skins. And if you buy the deluxe edition, you get the deluxe skins. And it's like, the funny thing is, most of the deluxe skins I have, I've never even really used them anymore. Like, and I know it sounds kind of like a waste of money, but like, I just put them on separate classes when I can. Just so I could say like, oh, this thing I purchased money with, isn't like going to waste. Okay, now we're at arc weapons, which we did see this in the trailer. I never like, you and I, Sussy Bosca, we never watched it together. I watched it and I thought it was kind of meh. Like, to me, arc weapons are kind of like not really special anymore because it's like they're just lightning that chains to another enemy. I mean, that's not really cool anymore. That wasn't even cool like in Fable. That was probably like one of the more boring spells, in my opinion. But everyone has their own taste. So yeah. I mean, in real life, if I shot lightning out of my hands, that'd be fucking dope. But like in a video game, it's kind of boring. I mean, who would I shoot lightning at? Like, it would just be kind of pointless. Because like, I could just see myself using that. Unique to certain Skitarii weapons and talents in the arc mechanic, an effect that interacts with the pre-existing electric state of enemies. However, okay, my brain, honestly, I started drifting off when reading that. I'm not even gonna lie. My brain went into fucking autopilot. How it works with the weapons and talents that have arc hit of electrified enemies, the electric attack will immediately jump to the nearest enemy. Okay, like I just said, dealing damage, also electrifying them. So it's deals damage and stuns them, I assume. If instead the attack hits an enemy that is electrified, it isn't electrified, it will electrify them. So that follows up attacks can trigger the arc. I wonder how many arcs it could hit. So the more enemies that are affected by it, the more it'll bounce, basically, or arc. Okay. This creates not just an interesting gameplay loop for yourself, but it could also take off with teamwork. Multiple Skitarii bearing arc weaponry can build off each other's electrified enemies. Okay, this might be actually broken. With other classes cannot trigger arcs. Somehow, someone like Psyker could start electrifying enemies to set them up for Skitarii arc weapons to capitalize on. Okay. If you are curious about weapons, keep an eye out for the most featured highlight where we cover the Skitarii, including the New York weapons. Okay, blah. Da 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 da. Okay. Da da da. I mean, I just want to zoom in. Can I zoom in? Oh, okay. I think I zoomed in a little too far there. Okay, it's not zooming in with the thing. I don't know what any of these things do, so I'm not gonna like... Because the one thing I don't want to do is click somewhere and YouTube is like, oh yeah, baby, you just went to the dark zone and we're gonna fucking ban your channel or some nonsense because we saw a picture of boobies or something. Experiments on a different layout. Okay, I'm just reading the buzzwords. Enemy is the first target hit. Stun and suppression immunity. Capable, blah blah blah. So remember your ammo reserve every... Oh. So that means in a minute you get 4% of your ammo. Actually, now that I think about that, that's kind of bad. Because let's say that was 5%, right? That would mean in 20 minutes you would get all of your ammo back. Which doesn't sound bad. But you gotta remember, that's 20 fucking minutes to get all your ammo back. Which I think, I could kind of see that if you have a veteran, that could be very solid. After not shooting for at least a second, you gain increased damage for the next shot. Okay, I could see that. Oh, these must be... Okay, I see what they're saying. I can only pick one of these. So... I mean, I don't know why I would stop shooting to get damage. Gain increased reload speed. Additionally, after not shooting for a few seconds, reload a portion of your magazine from your ammo reserve each second. And like, why would I stop shooting? That just seems like counteractive. Replenish 1% of your ammo reserve every 15 seconds. I mean, that's kind of what the veterans thing does. So I guess it's solid, which I guess if you do it with the veteran, that's like 5%. But you have to kill an elite, so it's like... Okay. Gain increased damage reduction and revive speed when reviving an ally. I mean, that could be pretty solid. Especially if you're in a really, really close environment. When at full toughness, a portion of your excess toughness replenished is distributed to each ally in coherency. That could be good for like giving your teammates, obviously, toughness. Protector protocol. Capitate allies in coherency have increased damage reduction. If you free them, you gain a stun immunity and damage reduction for a short duration. I wonder if that goes with the skull. Because if that goes with the skull, that could be really, really good. That could be really, really good. Because you could pick someone with the skull up, and you get increased damage reduction. If you free them, you gain stun immunity and increased damage reduction for a short duration. That's very solid. Execution talent, stagger enemies. The push applies execution, dealing damage and stunning enemies at a cooldown. Gain increased damage for a short duration when hitting an enemy suffering from execution, soul blaze, burning enemy. Oh, wow. Okay, that's like everything. Gain increased damage on a short duration while hitting an enemy suffering from execution, soul blaze. Okay, yeah, that's like very good. Executing an enemy applies force acts of brightness to them. Electrifying an enemy. Combat abilities. Unleash the strict discharge around you. Stunning, electrifying, damaging enemies near you with multiple charges. This effect is improved, such as disabling the weapons of enemies in a nearby area. Maybe they just can't shoot you. If they can't shoot you, I mean, that's fucking good. Performing a powerful melee hit attack using a clad claw. This does not consume multiple carapaces charges, allowing you to still store multiple to perform several attacks in session. For a short duration, your weapon locks into enemies close into your targeting retinal, giving you inhuman accuracy. Oh, so you get aimbot, basically. Okay. So we have our blitzes. So we have the artificial servo skull. Oh, so we get skulls and we get actual grenades. So you're accompanied by a servo skull that could shoot at enemies or complete data interrogations. Further talents allow you to bring specialized servo skulls. Okay, so you get one servo skull to start off with, and then if you put more points into it, you get other servo skulls. So you throw an arc grenade, creating electric explosion that arcs several times. Okay. I mean, is actually really good. Surround yourself in a shield that absorbs all incoming rain damage for a short duration. That could be really solid. That could be really solid if you want to try to pick someone up in a tough spot. We're going to open this up in a new tab. Okay, so looking at it now, these... I do like the skill tree. I'm just trying to figure out... Okay, so this must be the claw that they were talking about. I think this is the servo skull. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's kind of hard to tell. I think this might be the shield. These might be the arc grenades. Okay. Maybe this is the shield. I'm trying to figure out what's the servo skulls, because I feel like these are the servo skulls. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, because I think this is maybe one servo skull. Because these look like skulls. And this looks like the Medicaid skull down here. And this looks like the accuracy thing that I just mentioned. Okay, let's go back. And coherency, 23% toughness regardless of enemy proximity. Okay. Your allies at coherency have 10% ammo reserves. This is actually very solid because if you're playing on high difficulty, there's a lot of gunners. You and your allies at coherency gain increased cleave and rending. It's okay. So if you got a veteran with crack grenades, it's like let's see. Protocols, keystones. Okay. Generation, whatever you spend or gain an ability charge. Additionally, you have one extra ability charge. So this is kind of good if you're trying to do the charges. Killing leads or specials grants frenzy protocol charges, which increases your damage and toughness. Damage reduction charges are not when you take damage. Killing an enemy grants stacks of pain overload. This reaches the maximum amount of stacks triggered overload, which improves the damage and damage reduction to you and your allies for short duration. Bonus questions. Favorite part. I think the claw is really cool and super satisfying to use. Even the first version that we got in, I already was in love with it. This kind of go-to when you release it for sure. What did you have the most fun working on? And I think that's basically it for now. I think that's going to be the end of our kind of situation here. And I'm just really excited to play this class. Let's see. I think so this class comes out June 23rd, which is basically not counting today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is a Tuesday. And okay, and there's also kind of that, and I think that's all I could really think of because I obviously didn't give me a full description of everything. It kind of gave me like the rundown of stuff, but I think for what I read, I think it was pretty good. I think it was pretty informative. The fact that we could have multiple skulls is kind of very cool. But I wonder if that's like going to be a detriment down the line. And I'm just waiting to see what events they bring because right now the events that they brought are kind of like mid. Like they're either like mid to like not fun at all. Like there's been times where I just found myself being like, this event sucks. I hate this. I'm only playing this to literally get like the fucking the fucking charm, the charm I'm like never gonna use, or it's always like something, and it's like, you know. So what I do hope is that they bring the, instead of it being like, oh, this new event came out and it's a limited time, it should be, in my opinion, it should be like this event's on rotation. But I will leave it there, and I'll catch you guys next time. Subscribe, and